All right, in this video, I want to show you guys how to use the Gutenberg editor. One of the first things that you want to do when you get into your WordPress site is start writing your blog posts or start writing your pages. So we're going to go and write our first blog post. We're going to just click on this from the next steps. You can also go to posts and add new. So the Gutenberg editor has gotten a lot of controversy since it came out in 5.0 back in December. We're almost at 6 months of having the Gutenberg editor. I absolutely love it, but it is a different way of writing than it used to be with the classic editor. So first, let's add a title. And then we see these blocks. And if you notice, it said start writing or type to choose a block. So if we go here, we can choose a different block than just regular text. We can add some text. And we can go in and format all that text. See that you can add an inline image, you can add some code, you can transform this. So let's say we want a heading at the very top. So there's our heading. Automatically it's an H2 because our H1 is the title of the post. So we can change it to an H3 or an H4, but since this is right underneath our title, most likely is an H2. It's pretty smart that way. You can convert it back to a paragraph, or you can convert it to a quote. So you might want it to be a quote with a citation. So these are a lot of the different text blocks that there are. If you want to add a new block, you can either press enter, or you'll see a plus that comes up along the sides where you can add a new block. So let's say in this block we want to add an image. Another simple thing to do. We don't have any images in here. Let's see if we can find one really quick. This isn't really a great image, but it will work. So we'll select this. There's our image. So there's our image, and we have lots of options here as well. We can center it. We can align it to the right or to the left. We can make it kind of a wide image or a full width image. So there's a lot of options that come predefined, which is really cool. If we go to the transform again, we can go in and change it to a cover, which includes a title with the image. It looks a little funky with the image that I have, so I'm going to change it back to an image. We can do media and text. So there's our media, and then here's our text. This works great for affiliate images like Amazon. You want to put the image of the item here, and then go in and write some content on this side. By default, it's kind of large, but I have found that you can convert it to a list or back to a paragraph, and it goes back to kind of your normal size. So those are some basic, very basic blocks. We have a list block. Let's go in and explore some of the other blocks. So the really cool thing about Gutenberg is that with the blocks system, we can have lots of layout elements. So we have this media and text, which is super cool for laying things out. Well, we don't want to pull out the Divi or the Beaver Builder that even at its quickest will slow down the site and just takes a little bit longer and you can't focus on your content. You also have the options of columns. So here is a 2-column layout. And we saw the quote option. Gallery is also very nice. Video. Some of the formatting options. If you want a little classic block, you can definitely pull that in. There's a table option, which wasn't in the default WYSIWYG editor of WordPress. You have to add a plugin to get that. A pull quote, sometimes nice. And you'll notice with some of these that we have additional options over here. So the main color and the text color, you can go in and change these, which is kind of nice. Then there are, talked about some of the layout elements. So you can add a spacer, you can add a page break, you can add the more shortcodes. So if you're writing an excerpt, that's going to appear kind of on your blog archive page. You can do that. We even have a little button that you can create. So bad button text, but there it is. So one thing you might be wondering is, oh, well, I want that pull quote way up high. So you can move things throughout your layout up and down fairly easily, which is really nice. I really like that feature. Let's see, lastly, there are widgets. So you have access to all of your widgets, and keep in mind that a lot of plugins add widgets as well. So this is kind of your basic, nothing included WordPress widgets, but there's always more that come with various plugins. And then lastly, kind of embeds. So this will have all your different other sites that you may want to embed something from. Maybe a TED Talk or something from SmugMug. Here's Kickstarter and Imager and Crowd Signal. There's so many different things that you can do, and it makes it so easy to just put in a URL and it automatically embeds it, which is really nice. I like also on this sidebar, you have the settings per item. So here's like the 2-column layout item, or the paragraph actually. And the list, you can see kind of different options that come up. For the most part, there's not many, but for things like the pull quote, there's quite a few different options that you can do. So you can do a solid color. Do like this. This is really nice. This is new in the new version that just came out last week. So this color combination may be hard for people to read. Try using a brighter background color and or darker text color. So what if we did that and that maybe, or that? There we go. So that contrast is nice. That's actually a really nice feature, because otherwise you would have to go in and kind of figure out what that contrast was. Then under document, these are all the document settings. So we have status and visibility. These you should all be familiar with. Permalink, categories, especially if you've worked with WordPress in the past. Up at the top left, we have a couple more options. So here we have the block navigation. So if you want to jump to a specific block, you can do so there. We also have kind of an info of the post. So how many words, how many headings, how many paragraphs, how many blocks. And then if all else fails and you want to create a new block, you can always come up here. This was a quick little trick that I learned, because sometimes it's hard to get kind of that little plus where you want it. So you click on there and you just go to paragraph, and it will insert it kind of where you are on the page, which is really nice. So again, I really love the Gutenberg editor. I think it's really slick. I think it's moving WordPress into the next era of the web. It's catching up with editors. Drag and drop editors are out there, but still keeping the simplicity of core WordPress, which is really nice. One last thing that I want to show you, if you want something to be in line to have some kind of format, you can highlight the text and format it to what you need. So that will of course format everything, but if we want to bold something, that's just going to bold some. or italicize it. This is also where you can type in a link and link somewhere. Very easy to unlink just like it was before. You also have options, I believe this is new from the latest version, of adding some code or an inline image. So you don't want to add a separate block, you want something that's very in line to what you're doing, that actually replace the word some, or do a strike through. So those are a couple of the additional options that we have here. Under the three dots, you can hide the block settings, you can duplicate a block, you can insert before or after, and there's some really nice shortcuts there. You can edit anything as HTML, so if you're having trouble with your formatting and you know a little bit of HTML, you can do that as well. And then you can remove the block. You can also add reusable blocks. So if you find a block that you're using over and over, say you have like a related post block, you can make it into a reusable block and then add it in to any page or post that you have, which is really nice. That's coming up to some features of Beaver Builder that I really like with the templating. So there is that option as well. Well, that's my little demo for Gutenberg. Have fun writing content. Content is king, and you need to have quality content before you do anything with your design, is what I would recommend. Design is fun, and you want it to show your brand and your colors and everything that is about you. But at the end of the day, the content's what's going to drive your traffic. And that's what's really going to be important on the site. So concentrating on some content before you get too nitty gritty with your design is always, I think, a best practice.